Let's be honest, Bitcoin sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie. Everyone talks about it like it's either digital gold or a digital disaster. Your cousin bought some and thinks he's a genius. The news calls it volatile, and nobody seems to explain it in a way that actually makes sense. Is it money? Is it an investment? Is it some techie fad that'll disappear? The truth is, Bitcoin is here to stay, and understanding it doesn't have to be complicated. In fact, by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what it is, how it works, and why it might be one of the most important inventions in modern finance. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any videos that make money finally make sense. Well, buckle up, because by the end of this video, you'll finally understand Bitcoin. No jargon, no hype, just a clear, simple explanation. Let's start with the basics. Bitcoin is a kind of digital money, or cryptocurrency, that was invented in 2009 by someone using the name Satoshi Nakamoto. Nobody knows who that really is. Could be one person, could be a group. Total mystery. But here's what they did. They created a way for people to send money to each other directly, without needing a bank, a government, or a company in the middle. Just you and the other person, peer-to-peer, using a network called the blockchain. So what's the blockchain? Imagine a big digital notebook that records every Bitcoin transaction ever made. Once something's written in that notebook, it can't be erased or changed. It's public, and it's copied across thousands of computers around the world. That's what keeps it secure. There's no single point of failure, no central control. Now, let's say I send you 1 Bitcoin. That transaction gets written in the blockchain. But before it's added, computers in the network, called miners, have to verify that I actually have the Bitcoin to send. They do that by solving really complex puzzles. It's kind of like playing Sudoku at lightning speed, using electricity and powerful machines. Why would anyone do that? Because when they solve the puzzle, they get rewarded with new Bitcoins. That's how new Bitcoins are created, through mining. To put it into perspective, think of miners as the security guards of the system. They spend resources, mainly electricity, to ensure that transactions are legit and that nobody is cheating. In return, they earn a small reward, like a tip for doing the heavy lifting. But don't worry, you don't need to mine anything to use Bitcoin. You can just buy it, sell it, store it in a digital wallet, or send it to someone else, just like regular money, except it's not controlled by any government or bank. And that's a huge part of Bitcoin's appeal. It's decentralized, meaning no government, central bank, or financial institution controls it. No one can wake up and decide to print more Bitcoin. No one can freeze your Bitcoin account. And no central authority can manipulate its supply. This independence from government control is what makes Bitcoin so attractive to people who don't trust traditional systems. It gives financial power directly to individuals. Now, why does Bitcoin matter? First, it's limited. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoins. That's it. No more can be made. Unlike regular money, which governments can print more of whenever they want, Bitcoin is fixed. That's why people sometimes call it digital gold. Think about gold for a second. It's valuable because it's rare, hard to find, and people trust it. Bitcoin works in a similar way, only it's digital, and we know exactly how much exists. Second, it's global. You can send Bitcoin to someone across the world in minutes. No need for currency exchange, no bank delays, no high fees. It's fast and borderless. For example, a family in the US can send money to relatives in Nigeria without paying crazy fees to Western Union. Third, it's open. Anyone with an internet connection can use it. You don't need permission. You don't even need a bank account. That's a big deal in places where banking isn't easily accessible. In fact, Bitcoin has already made a difference in countries with unstable currencies or hyperinflation, like Venezuela and Argentina, where traditional money can lose value overnight. People there have turned to Bitcoin as a more stable alternative to protect their savings. But of course, there are risks. Bitcoin prices go up and down a lot. It can be worth $30,000 one day and $20,000 the next, so it's not exactly stable. Also, if you lose your digital wallet password, your Bitcoin is gone. There's no forgot password button. And since transactions are irreversible, if you send Bitcoin to the wrong person, you can't get it back. There's a famous story about a guy who accidentally threw away a hard drive with thousands of Bitcoins on it. At today's prices, that's hundreds of millions of dollars lost, literally in the trash. Plus, Bitcoin has been used for shady stuff. Because it's somewhat anonymous and hard to trace, some people use it for illegal transactions. That's one reason governments have been keeping a close eye on it. So, should you buy Bitcoin? That depends on your goals and your risk tolerance. Some people buy a little bit, just to learn and experiment. Others see it as a long-term investment. Some just avoid it completely. That's okay too. If you do decide to buy, start small. Learn how wallets work. Use trusted platforms. And never invest more than you're willing to lose. Bitcoin can be exciting, but it's still young and unpredictable. And by the way, you don't have to buy one whole Bitcoin. You can buy fractions of a Bitcoin. If one Bitcoin costs $30,000, you can invest just $10 and still own a piece of it. Now let's clear up a few common questions. Can Bitcoin be hacked? Not really. The Bitcoin network itself is incredibly secure, but the apps, exchanges, or wallets you use can be hacked. So be careful where you store your coins. Use hardware wallets or trusted exchanges with good security practices. Can Bitcoin be shut down? Also unlikely. Because it runs on thousands of independent computers worldwide, there's no single switch to turn it off. One country can ban it, but the network keeps going elsewhere. Is Bitcoin real money? That depends on how you define money. You can use it to buy things. You can save it, you can exchange it. Sounds a lot like money, right? It's just not backed by any government. How do taxes work with Bitcoin? In most countries, you have to report gains or losses if you buy and sell Bitcoin. So yes, Uncle Sam still wants his cut. Keep track of what you buy, what you sell, and what price you paid. In the end, Bitcoin is like the early internet, full of potential, still growing, a little wild, but definitely worth understanding. It's not magic. It's just math, code, and a big community of people who believe money should be open, global, and independent. So the next time someone brings up Bitcoin, you won't have to nod and pretend. You'll actually know what they're talking about. And maybe, just maybe, you'll be the one explaining it. Finally, you can say, "Now I get it."